We are people who are born to fight back. Amen. We are people who are born not to give up the struggle. So Chantel Davis, a 23-year-old woman, young woman from New York, when I read her bio, and she had quite a few bouts with crime. She was arrested 8 times for charges from kidnapping to robbery with a weapon. And I read this story, and I'm saying, well, maybe the killing was justified. Maybe if you live a life a certain way, then maybe you certainly deserve to die. But then I said, but all she was doing at that moment was driving a stolen car. Is that a punishable fine? Is there punishment for that death? Does that make any sense? And then I said, okay, so let me get a little background about the police officer who shot her. Well, it turns out that he was as dirty as she was. He was charged, sued 7 times, fabricating evidence, unjustified force. And his hand just happened to be on the trigger as he leaned in the door of her car. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Please don't let me die. When I think about this, I think about the existential pain I'm feeling right now. This pain that is threatening my very existence, maybe not Renee, McKenzie per se, but if it's affecting the lives of my people, it's a pain that I feel as well. Please don't let me die. How often have we been hearing that cry? I'm sure that as our ancestors were coming through that brutal middle passage, the cry was, please don't let me die. As they absorbed the pain and the horror and the brutality of chattel slavery, please don't let me die. As they withstood the tortures of Jim Crow, please don't let me die. We've always been crying out the cry for life, resisting death, fighting death, determined that we were going to see this thing to the end. But you know, and so in the 60s and the 70s, 50s and the 60s, when we stood up and we were fighting Jim Crow, we said all we need to do is to stand tall. Stand like a man, stand like a woman. But we realized it wasn't enough just to stand tall. You have to stand tall and lean forward. Stand tall and lean forward. Because the truth is, this world, this room that we're trying to stand in, it's tilted. It's off-centered, it's kiltered. We have no idea what's up and what's down, what's right and what's left, and that's the power of racism. Makes you live in a state of confusion. So it's not just enough for us to stand tall. We have to lean forward. Because the world we're living in is crooked. Lean forward. We have to lean forward because that's where our future is, right? We have to lean forward because we have to reach that dream. We have to overcome the oppression, and we have to resist the oppressor. It's not enough to stand tall. You have to see the dream, and you have to go out for it. And we have to be like Chantel and says, I don't want to die. I don't want my people to die. I don't want my family to die. Stand tall. Lean forward. But the other reason why we need to lean forward, because that's where God is. We have to lean to where the face and the voice and the presence of that God resides. Because that is a God of justice. That's not a God who sanctions this crooked space and tells us to stand up and then become totally discombobulated. That's not the God we serve. We don't serve a God that rewards oppression. We serve a God that celebrates those who persevere to the end. Stand up and lean forward. The fight has just begun. We got a few more roads we have to travel. We have a few more bridges we have to cross. But all we have to do is keep moving. Stand up. Stand up and lean forward. The battle's not over. The battle's not easy. But we don't want to die. We don't want to die.